It's another beautiful Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Veronica Danny Boy. I have my beautiful co-hosts with me. Hello, ladies.
Excellent morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lapia. Bagajia.
I know that bit.
That's the. I don't know that part. How are you ladies doing? How was your weekend?
Good.
Mariam, you look rested. Would I say so?
I feel like I look tired. I'm so tired.
To an extent, yeah.
Yes, I am tired. My weekend, I went for a wedding on Friday. Beautiful wedding. Reception was at night. I love night weddings. I think that's the way to go. It was so beautiful. Then on Saturday, I went for a 40th birthday party. Lovely too, at the Oriental. Then on Sunday, I gave up. Because I was supposed to go for Banky's whatever. I'm like, I can't do this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Who am I? So I said, because I took the kids for their cousin's birthday, and then I was supposed from there I was like, no, I give up.
You gave up?
Yeah. So I stayed home. You can tell, I'm a bit tired. I overdid it.
An event-packed or a packed weekend.
Yeah.
Nima, you had an event yesterday, yes?
But before I say that, it's our intern's birthday, Elizabeth.
Today
Today's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
I put you outside. But it was really nice yesterday with the Criterion women. I felt really honored and privileged. And when the companions, that's the men's side of it, came in, I was like, I've always heard about them when I was a child. And to host was really honorable. And the topic was made it worth it. I've never seen an event where women were not pushing and there was no side talk. We were all fixed on the facilitators, Memuna Kadri, Mrs. Adeyemi from the Ministry of Justice, were all fixed. And then the head of the neuropsychiatric hospital in Yaba was also speaking.
Oh, really?
Special guest of honor. And everybody was just like,
listening.
Topic concerns us as in
directly.
It was really worth it. It was worth
So
it.
the research and all that you were doing came handy, obviously.
It didn't work.
So did you speak?
But I had a great mentor in Amina Mohammed of the NTA.
Yeah.
So she was helping me co-MC. It was really worth it.
Oh, I wish I was
I
there.
lost my scarf in all the...
You lost your
Because that morning,
from your head?
That morning, no, I had an inner scarf on my abaya, which I was holding. I left it there. That morning, I had serious bout of the malaria. I had feverish pain. I couldn't make... My husband was like, he cannot step out of this house. I said, I have to go. So he ran off with the key. There was a lot of drama in the morning, and then later he gave it back to me, and I left.
Well done.
Abby, I can see a new hairstyle.
Yes.
My white hair, silver hair.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Really cool on you.
I had a restful Friday. Friday was my son's birthday, so he was 8. Yes, I had to go to school. Yeah, already, we are getting old. Had to go to school, drop off his cakes, and he had a celebration in class. Then Saturday, I was just home. I was preparing for my webinar, the Love and Goals Masterclass, which is happening on Friday, the 15th. So I was checking through the registrations I'd had so far, preparing my course. I'm excited about it. You know, we need to not just prepare physically for marriage, but psychologically, mentally, you know, just be financially, spiritually, financially, and all of
So you no
that.
longer investigate a family for disabilities and all those. You have to investigate a family for a history of abuse, sexual abuse.
And all of that.
Well, so that was it. And you?
And you, your pretty pink outfit.
Thank you. I had a restful weekend. Initially, I was thinking that, okay, I was going to work because we had scheduled to have some things to do this weekend, but it didn't happen, so I took the opportunity to sleep. The 8-hour sleep, I was...
This girl out one day.
I'm
We don't drag her.
Going out is not the challenge. It's about having time to rest. Because every little opportunity I have, I want to have rest. I want to rest and rest well. Psychologically,
really
mentally, in every way. I want to rest so that I can accommodate as much when it's time to work. So that I can dish out as much when it's time to work. But then I rested very well. Thanks to my husband too, who helped me out.
Took charge.
Took
charge.
Hey! Now I knew Nima was waiting for that.
It's a cat. Oh, God.
I will not give their
Now we interpret and reinterpret what you mean.
All right, let's quickly take that. Today is World Sickle Cell Day. It's the day set aside to celebrate those living with the disease. We celebrate you guys. We see you. We understand the challenge you go through, and we can only help but encourage as many who find themselves in this circle. Well, when we return, the front page reviews starts. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Let's head straight to the newspapers this morning, and we'll start with the Punch. Major headline: PDP reacts as Buhari says corruption threatens February the 16th poll. President Atiku to sign fresh pact on poll outcome Wednesday. Arms scam: FG fails to probe Buhari's NSA minister. Overcrowding: 9 slump at Atiku's rally in Kano. Lagos man, woman found dead in a car. Ex-military governor David Ejo dies at 87. And we have pictures excuse me, of people collecting their PVCs at INEC office in Koshofe, local government area of Lagos State, and a scene of a fire incident at INEC office in Kwampan local government area of Plateau State on Sunday. And then we have 3.4 billion naira debt, FIRS to sell 52 firms' properties. Don't forget, Leah Sharibu family begs federal government, international community. Polls: Nigeria must avoid Venezuelan nightmare, says Akinyemi. Buhari's visit: confusion in Ogun as Amosun or Oshoba make parallel plans. All right, Obi.
The human angle story. So the creative director, Image World Visuals, Emmanuel Shetan, and Annie Akadelo were found dead, packed in their car along Maryland.
Yes.
So according to an eyewitness who said that they were likely coming back from a club. So the man set about 70 meters away from his house. He parked where another man used to park. So the man came down and asked him to move. Then he said he was not feeling too good.
Yes.
Should give him a few minutes before he could move, only for the man to come back in an hour time, and 2 of them were dead. So they had to call the police. They found some drinks. So they're speculating that it could be poisoned drinks. Wow. Now they are already taken to the hospital. They've been taken to the hospital, and the police is saying that they will have to do autopsy for them, get the forensic department in charge, so that we know what exactly happened.
Because I saw that story over the weekend, and I thought maybe it was some sort of carbon monoxide poisoning.
From the AC.
But they said it's not, that perhaps it's the drinks they took were poisoned, and so we can only hope that the matter is investigated, then we get to the root cause. But then let's go to this major headline. PDP reacting to President Buhari's statement that corruption is threatens the February the 16th. That's the presidential election. He says that corrupt politicians could use their loot, for vote buying and all of that. The government has been making efforts championing this cause against anti-corruption, and so that some politicians could use their loot, to buy votes. But then the PDP is reacting, saying that the president perhaps is seeing the handwriting on the wall that he might lose the elections. That's why he's making such a statement.
He's panicking, and that it is him, the people in power, who have the capacity to even buy the votes right now, and not the other people.
But then we can only
put
wait
their house
to
in
see.
order.
Interestingly, this
what
time
happens
around,
February
we
the
don't
16th.
have so much. There isn't a lot of people talking about monies being,
laundered.
Yeah, no, not laundered,
no.
just giving out.
Handouts.
Yeah,
Like
no
that.
handouts like previous elections.
All right, let's go to The Nation now. Major headline report: Buhari wins 60%. U.S. research firm Eurasia states why president will retain his job. Divided support. Other odds against PDP candidate Atiku listed. We have elections. INEC expresses confidence in card readers. 3 feared dead at Atiku's Kano rally. Uber driver killers arrested. Leah Sharibu's death report fake. Stocks in biggest pre-poll rally. Alex Iwobi needs Arsenal fans. And then we have Nigeria votes. All the facts and figures about election 2019. Yakubu leaving to the billing of a good umpire. APC PDP revel in psychological battle. 21 Kwara elders endorse Abdul Razak for governor. Who has any story here?
So I want to take the Uber driver story. Major headline. So this gang of armed robbers and murderers held an Uber driver. According to them, Peter Roberts is one of the ex-convicts who is one of the gang members, said that they have an insider, another Uber driver who monitors Uber drivers who are doing offline work. So they had stopped this offline Uber driver, hailed his cab and said, you know, they were going somewhere in Lekki, and it took them for 1,000 naira. They stopped him along the road, murdered him, stoned him to death actually, and you know, threw the body out of the car and changed the plate numbers of the car to another car and left it there and started, you know, trying to sell it, put it on auction immediately. So when their buyers were insisting that, you know, they didn't want a car that was traceable, they decided to dismember the car and sell the parts, and that was when the RRS nabbed them. 2 of them have been nabbed and the others are on the run. I hope that they are found. This is becoming a trend. Uber drivers are no longer safe. And, you know, these are people who work off time. They work at night. And 11 o'clock is no longer safe for an Uber driver. We need to do more.
No, but then
Uber drivers also should please stay online so that they should remain trackable.
You have a point there, because I noticed that sometimes they will tell you they don't want to stay online because they make more money when they don't, which is risky for them.
Or, you know, when you're online, you could decide to pay with your card and you would prefer cash. So now you know that it's also for your safety to be online.
Yes, for your safety.
Let's quickly get to the Daily Sun. The major headline: as NJC ratifies recommendation today on organ to go, Mohammed stays. COP alleges arm twisting, pressure mounts on Apex Court, INEC over Rivers, APC candidates. David Ajo, ex-Midwestern governor, dies at 87. Elections: Clinton Commonwealth scribe to witness second peace deal in Abuja. IGP orders tight security around INEC facilities. Dapchi Sharibu not dead. Federal government tears agony as 7 die in Anambra tanker fire. Game over for President Atiku, declares in Kano why Nigerians should re-elect me, Buhari. Corruption threat to next election, says President. All right.
Yeah, so I have the story of the 40-feet petrol tanker loaded with petroleum products that lost control and rammed into, you know, shops and businesses. So cars caught fire, businesses. About 7 people have been reported lost their lives. I think there's 1 survivor, but who is in ICU right now. This is in Anambra State now, close to the governor's lodge called Anobia. I mean, every time we talk about these stories, you know, I'm just, is it that we do not have somebody that can look at the, you know, these tankers especially, you're moving from one place to the other, you're going through human beings. I don't understand. Is it that our roads are so bad? Or the drivers are too reckless and that there's nobody to make sure that these vehicles are in their proper condition before they are on the road?
Long vehicles like that are not supposed to turn at, you know, some tight bends. They have to go through a roundabout or, you know, and they always cut decisions. Please, insurance companies should start to find a package for them so that the people whose lives are lost and families can be given something. Already as it is now, they don't even deal with this as a crime, which is supposed to be at least a manslaughter. Then, you know, the families and code, nothing happens. The company will just settle like 250.
Before we go, but the governor has said that the government is going to pay the hospital bills for those who have been affected and also try and compensate businesses that have been lost.
I'll quickly take this story on former U.S. President Clinton and a Commonwealth scribe will witness the second signing of a new peace deal that would between the president and Atiku and other. They'll be leading, you know, other presidential candidates to sign this peace accord, especially with regards to the outcome of the February the 16th, that's Saturday's elections. All right, so let's quickly move now to The Guardian. Major headline: 1 year after Leah Sharibu's family begs Buhari for rescue. Report of her death is fake, says federal government. Protesters DSS arrest PDP campaign director. Court warns CBN, NCC, others against concluding a Tisselat sale. No rational Nigerian would vote for APC, PDP politics. All right. I think that's the major story.
Following the rumor that Leah Sharibu was killed by the people holding her, the mother has called on the federal government to do everything possible to get her out for this people's hands. And the federal government, through the Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed, was saying that this is fake news. But I read through the story, and I would love that he rebutted the story from an intelligence report, so that, you know, maybe of Boko Haram doing a rebuttal that, you know, that this was fake news, that they still have or making new demands. But he reported saying it's fake news.
Yes, the mother was in tears, asking the federal government to come in and help with the United Nations and international organization. Yeah, they should come in and help. That the girl has been there for over a year now. She was 14, now she's 15. And what I expected, the response I expected was telling us the plans on how to get the girl out, not telling us that it's fake news.
Even if you don't want to give us because it's intelligence.
Exactly.
But
let us know that talks are going on. Don't tell us about fake news and people are, the opposition is trying to use it against you. That's not the story.
All right. So that's the much we can take from the newspaper headlines this morning. Sorry, Mariam. That's the much I'm being told. We need to take a break now. Next on Hot Topic, Lagosians lament over the clearing of tanker prior to the President's visit, and later on Let's Talk, we discuss federal government's social intervention program. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, over the weekend, President Muhammadu Buhari visited Lagos State ahead of the presidential elections coming up on the 16th of this month. However, there is a decry or a cry from Lagosians that they noticed the immediate clearing of tankers along the Eco Bridge downwards Ikorodu Road. Many have expressed shock that the situation with the tankers, which had become a cause for concern, but seemed too difficult to solve for months unending, suddenly found a solution over President Buhari's visit. What are your thoughts on this? Join the conversation on 07080668014. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Ladies, I know we're talking about this in the makeup room earlier on, and Nima came up with something, but tell us your experience. You live towards that end, yes, so tell us how it was.
Yes, I think on Friday I mentioned that I woke up and voila, the road was free. But yesterday on my way out, I think I took a video on my Instagram and I was telling people they are back, so I could see that as they were driving past me and parking on the bridge. It's so sad. I've said it that school now, instead of the usual maybe 10 minutes, we take a longer route because we can't go through there. We'll be in traffic for so long, almost like an hour, 2 hours, just to go around something that would usually take us 10 minutes. So this is very sad, especially, we already understand the danger. I know that the minister, Fashola, was here some months ago, and he said something about because people were talking about even the safety of that bridge, Yeah. And he said something that they had looked into it, but that there's no danger to the structure of the bridge. But that was like almost 6 months ago. I mean, this is constant wait on that bridge, 6 months later, let's say. And there must be some sort of danger to that bridge, because I apply that road a lot. The bridge, the surface of the bridge is eroding, definitely. You would see all the potholes and things like that. And it's so bumpy when you move. So there has to be a danger. I'm so afraid of, a calamity that can happen. We all pass through that road. And it's an overhead bridge over the market, over different sort of pedestrian. Then, secondly, the economic impact that it has. These people that we put on the bridges, these tankers that are on the bridges, they are taking products for Nigerians to and fro.
Business.
Yes, and they say that the amount of money that accumulates on demurrage to get there, where do you think that cost is going to fall? It's going to fall on us. We are going to somehow pay for it. So I just need to know what the end game is, what the plan is. Maybe we have a situation, but okay, where are we going? What is the date?
Now, people see this as a temporary solution. Obviously, there was a temporary solution. There was something that could be done. But, Nima, shed light this morning that they actually were the ones feeling the pinch.
Yeah. So we received our visitors on Tuesday last week.
So it's not a solution at all?
It wasn't a solution.
Just move it from
one point to the other. They started moving in on Tuesday. And so from Ijesha all the way to Bautu, usually they were on the road. They never left. They just created a way for us. So we had the middle of the major road and the service lane. We had the extreme right of the service lane. So it was possible to go towards Apapa. But from Tuesday, it was permanent lockdown. They shut it down all the way to Second Rainbow, totally. So you had to go through into First Act, through the ABC angle, the alternative route. And that road, someone had at least helped us pour some stones around, so it was manageable. That's the only alternative. And, you know, this morning now, yesterday, because I went out yesterday, I was passing and everywhere was smooth all the way to Second Rainbow. I was like, they have gone back to where they came from. So today I can go home. But that was the hardship we had to suffer. And what worries me is that this is, of course, a failure of leadership. When we were building Apapa, nobody foresaw the growth that we have today. And so they didn't plan to have holding bays where they should have. And because we don't have holding bays there, they should move them to, even if holding bays can be situated in Ogun State, where there's massive availability of land, and they go when it is their turn. Because you see, 2 weeks, a trailer parked on that Second Rainbow going to Apapa can be there for 2 weeks before it is their turn to go and do whatever business they're going into Apapa for. So for 2 weeks, they will just be living on the road. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Someone has to be constructive and proactive about this thing. Everybody move out of Apapa, leave that place, go to wherever you are. When it is your turn, the companies can do the logistics. It's simple. Okay, the 000 plate number is your turn. You can then move. Head straight from that place to Apapa, do your loading and get out. Because the businesses are dying on that road. People are losing lives every day because of crossing, because they are packed, because people have to bike and use, go on foot. There are major accidents happening on that road. People, they see these things. Government see these things.
A lot of
but they would rather that we just
close down in those areas. A lot of residents are relocated because they are losing. And even from that to Orile to Apapa, the armed robbers have taken advantage to rob people there. So it's not safe at all. But my problem was the fact that they had to move twice this year. They had to move for the marathon race. They had to move the tankers, and now that the president was coming, so why do you have to move out the tankers when the president is coming? My point is, if you had left that tanker there and not ask them to move out, the president will come in and see the problem.
Because sometimes knows this problem.
No, sometimes they feign ignorance. Yes, they feign, because you are trying as the leadership in that state to make everything seem okay. Yes, make everything seem okay, like you're on top of the job. And at the end of the day, you have problems. So you moving out those tankers has given the impression that that road is free. The governor or the president will just go smoothly, have a smooth passage and go back, not knowing that we have a problem. And then afterwards, you bring the tankers back on that.
Or allow them back.
And allow them back there. So I was even thinking that there was a solution. Maybe the tankers had a place that they had to until Nima came this morning to say that they were even in her area. So why don't we even, open up more tank farms and relocate some tank farms from Apapa?
We've now launched the Lagos-Ibadan Railway, and it's active. Can we use it for cargo so that these people will leave the roads? That's the thing. Tank farms shouldn't be where residential people situated in residential areas. So the Ijengu tank farm that from Kirikiri all the way to Ijengu, which is now coming to Abule-Osun, Irede Road, is already, that place was residential. There was a community there before you started situating tank farms, which is risky. If you look at that satellite Ijegun Road now, that from Finanja all the way to Ijegun, we have schools are there. That's where we school. That's where we live. The road is just one lane. So you have going and coming to and fro on that road. Tankers plying that road. You have to wait as a car. The road already, the state of the road itself is not even something to write home about. It's not good. It doesn't show good leadership. It doesn't show that you have government. Yes, and when I sit here and say, people be like, you don't understand what it is to be in government, but you don't understand what it is to live in residential areas and like worry every single day for a fire. We don't have a fire service in that Ijegun area. We don't. Wow. We only have a fire truck. We don't have a fire service there. So a fire truck will have to get water, it is risky. The mere thought of it alone worries the mind.
You see, for me is, all these things we're saying, we're just women at home. I'm sure that there are people that have gone to school for this, that have work experience concerning the best way to go about this. So every time we come here and we say, you should build tank farms, they already know this. The problem right now is, why are we not doing it? I do not think it's for lack of ideas or what to do. Is that there must be somebody making money out of this.
So somebody owns the trucks.
Yes.
somebody owns the
Should they be sanctioned?
tank farms. Somebody who will not insure for damages, just like the tanker that we have now, will not insure for the lives of people that will be the colossal loss of people that will happen if an accident should happen, would be making money.
So should they be sanctioned? Do you think they should be sanctioned?
In fact, they shouldn't get licensed, and I'm calling out DPR. You can't license, situation of tank farms and filling stations within residential area without those precautions put in place. It shouldn't happen. Those are the parameters for cancelling. No license, no grants, no permission. Simple.
The federal government should even prevail on NNPC to revive depots. There are a lot of depots that are not functioning. So if you revive those depots, you can easily get, put up that pipeline. You can easily take it straight. Yes, because it's business.
They used to have a tank farm in Mosimi, Abiwa Simi, somewhere in Ogun State. And it was within land. It doesn't have to be along the water. It doesn't have to. I don't understand this new prevalence of
pipelines.
Revive them. Of pipeline vandalism.
What of the tourism
is another issue.
Our waterways? We're not capitalizing on that. It has to be tank farms every time.
I just want a blueprint. This is what we're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we know. Because we can't keep discussing this. We've discussed this too many times.
There has to be a solution, but because the outrage was another thing that people were looking at. That some person said we are politicizing this thing because because there was a marathon, these tankers were moved. How come we did not talk about that? And now because the president came, we're shouting all over the place and all that.
But then obviously we didn't know that
people are suffering. That is the major issue, and there has to be a solution.
There's a tweet.
We can't take that tweet now because we need to take this break. Next we discuss, well, stay with us. We'll have our discussion when we return. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, for some time now, the federal government has been intervening in the issue of the masses by providing help for majority of Nigerians through loans, social intervention programs, and so on. So the question is, how has this affected the lives of Nigerians? Because a lot of Nigerians are complaining that they do not see these so-called loans and grants. No, but joining us on the show is the Senior Technical Assistant on Communication and Community Engagement, Office of the Vice President, Dr. A.B. Awushika. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on the show.
I hope I got your name correctly.
You did.
Thank you. Well, you can join the show, the conversation rather, on 07080668014. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Now, there's been so many confusion amongst Nigerians as to what this program is about. There are several of them. And so people do not understand how what works.
Right.
So you need to break it down for our viewers especially.
Right. So, first of all, as part of our economic recovery plan that when the administration, and that would be the Buhari-led administration, came into power in 2015, one of the things that they wanted to work on was human capital as a way of building financial inclusiveness and just investing in the Nigerian, and as a way of reducing our poverty rate. And that's where the administration came up with the social intervention programs. And there are multiple programs that form this umbrella, if you may. We have the conditional cash transfer program, which is a program that's designed for the poorest of the poor. And we could talk about, how we come up with who's the poorest of the poor in our midst. So this is a program that gives 5,000 naira every month to those that are in this category. When you look at us as a nation, there are areas that we know people are not financially included. They have no BVN, they have no bank accounts. And we think it's because people are really poor in those areas. So we go out to those communities, those local government areas, and we ask people there, who are the very poor people in this community. They'll give us a list, and we understand that sometimes, when you do that, people might write their relatives, friends, and so on and so forth. So we still go further and actually survey the people in the community. So we'll ask, how many people are in this household? What's the most valued item here? Is it a bicycle? Is it a torchlight? And so on and so forth. And so based on that, we're able to determine who's actually the poorest of the poor there. And they get 5,000 naira every month. And some of them live in places that you can't even access. And so, we end up having to give them 10,000 naira every 2 months. And there are other incentives that are built into it. If they have a child, we want them to send that child to school. And sometimes there might not be a school in the locality, and they might have to transport the child out. So they will get 10,000 instead of 5 as an incentive. If they have a pregnant woman, we want the pregnant woman to use a skilled birth attendant, and so they'll get an incentive. And we've actually seen a 70% increase in women using a skilled birth attendant in this program. So it's really exciting. Okay. But the goal is not for them to remain at this level, but the goal is for them to move out of this level of poverty. So they do have caseworkers that work with them to help them become financially independent. And so then moving on, we have the Empower program, which is an exciting program for the youth to empower graduates and non-graduates between the ages of 18 and 35, where the federal government is currently employing 500,000 graduates in this program. I mean, this is the largest of such a program that exists. And in the next level, we're actually going up to 1.5 million graduates in the program. And the reason why we picked 1.5 million is because we know that every year we add about 1.7 million graduates to our job market from, higher institutions of learning. And so if we don't have a program that tackles this, then we'll just continue to increase our unemployment rate. So the intent is to use this moving forward to create that bridge after youth service before people actually get hired.
But before you move on, before Bisi comes in, perhaps you could just give us
the
just the names of the program,
of the different programs.
If you keep explaining, we'll run out of time.
Okay. So that's the Empower program. And then we have the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, which feeds children in elementaries 1 through 3. We're currently in 30 states of the nation. And then we have the JEEP program. JEEP is just an acronym for Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program. And within that umbrella is trader money, which everybody loves to talk about, farmer money, and market money. So those are the programs that form the National Social Intervention Program.
So, I think about 3 months ago in the Senate, it was raised that they've seen that the administration is beginning to politicize this social intervention program. And that you guys usually ask for the BVN, the PVC of the beneficiaries, and the beneficiaries are not, you've not come out to say this is how we select. So what's your method of selecting your beneficiaries on all of those schemes to ascertain that they are not just people who are in support of the present administration? So can you tell us how you guys
I think
select?
that's a great question. First of all, I will quickly say that, I think that that discussion in the Senate was somewhat disingenuous because these are programs that show up on the budget item as line items and get duly approved by the Senate. Okay. So how can you approve something and turn around and refer to it as vote buying or whatever else the case might be? That's number one. Number two, there is no PVC asked at all. Specifically they were referring to trader money, and trader money doesn't even have a form, and they brought a form to the floor of the Senate. I don't know where they got the form from. There is no form. There are enumerators that go out into the market in the case of trader money, and they'll just talk to the traders, ask them if they want the loan, yes or no. If they do want the loan, they'll get some information from them and put it on their phone or tablet. And the information they ask is the trader's name, their phone number, which is very important because it's a mobile wallet. So that's how they get paid. They'll ask for their home address. They'll take a picture of them with their trade that forms their identity, and they'll indicate if they're male or female. If they already have a bank account, they'll ask if they want to receive the money in their bank account. If yes, then they can provide their BVN. They don't even have to, but if they want to, they can. So that's how traders are selected. It's purely based on the trader that wants to attend. In the case of Empower, it's extremely random. You just go online. And that's the exciting thing about these programs is with past administrations, Nigerians have been used to programs being limited to who you know, whether you're affiliated with one party or the other. And this is the first time that as a nation, we have programs that are not dependent on, who you know. I mean, most of the programs actually started in Anambra State, which is not even an APC state.
Well, just let's go back again to the question she asked, just for perception reason. This is an election period, and you have your vice president going to the market and going to these people and putting money in their hands. Probably it might not be a political move, but do you agree that it looks a certain way and gives room for all sorts of interpretation? And could you have a better way to do this? And why do you need the vice president to
I'm glad you brought that up, because the vice president has never put money in anybody's hands or even given anybody any money. When the vice president goes, so you see pictures of the traders getting their money. And when the vice president goes to the market, they've already gotten their money.
Okay.
And what all he does when he goes there is he just interacts with the traders. He asks them, about if they have any questions. So there are three. No, and I'll tell you why. Because there are 3 programs on the Jeep. Nobody heard about market money or farmer money because the vice president wasn't as engaged in those programs. And everybody's talking about trader money because he's engaged. And that's the exact reason why he's engaged, is to bring awareness to the fact that we have all these million traders that need support. I mean, think about why we're even doing trader money. It's because we have millions of traders.
Shouldn't he be a part of everything to create as much awareness for every other scheme?
Yeah.
So, you learn as you go along, because trader money is the last because we started with farmer money and market money, and then we did trader money. That was the last one. It started in August of last year. Sometimes people say, oh, but why did it start so late? Why did it start so close to the elections? It was part of the 2018 budget, and as you know, that budget was significantly delayed in passing by the legislation. The minute they passed it, we started trader money.
Okay.
And that was August of last year. And I should also add that what you see is the trader getting the money. But what you don't see is what happens in the back end. Because when they're enumerated, it's run by Bank of Industry. And then it goes into this really, what I think is an exciting financial technological system whereby it runs checks about, one, is the person a Nigerian? So are they registered with NIMS? And 2, have they already accessed another loan? And if they've met all of that, then they get a text message in the language that they would have selected, letting them know that they've been approved. And they are paying back the money. For people that are saying that it's vote buying, the traders are paying back the money.
Let's quickly go on this break. When we return, the discussion continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
All right, we're still talking about the federal government's social intervention programs, and we still have Dr. A.B. in the studio. Nima, over to you.
My own question borders on the figures. So there's a figure of 220 billion expended so far in the past 3 years on these projects, as compared to the over 9 million people lives that it has touched. How do you explain? Do you think this is satisfactory?
I think it would be nice if we had more money, honestly. But particularly when you think about the fact that around this time, the last election, a few days to election, some money was taken from the central bank, about $292 million, which in today's money would be, in billions. And that money was just stolen. If we had that kind of money today, we would be able to meet so many people. But I think it's remarkable that even with that, we've been able to meet that many people. And it just goes to the fact that this is an administration that's very frugal in terms of using our national wealth for Nigerians rather than enriching ourselves.
Are you guaranteed that there will be no abuse?
Before we go on, because we have a caller on the line, Sam calling from Ikotun. Welcome to the show, Sam. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Just the question I want to ask is that I want to ask this lady that the question I want to ask her is that the politics is brought by us we are copying some other countries, especially the Europeans and the Americans. We are copying them. Why are we doing our own differently? Why is it that the money that the vice president is giving to the market, like giving to them like if they are beggars? Why can't he use that money to build hospital for them or to give their children? There are some countries where we are copying that to give them child benefits or employment benefits and everything. It is not the vice president that should be doing that, going all around. Because, but for our own, you may call it trade that money or anything.
Your line is not too clear. But if I heard him correctly, he's talking about the vice president going out to do this.
This is like
Why
a
don't
social
they use it
intervention
for
abroad. It's not properly done.
Yeah.
So, you know, first of all, I mean, there are a couple of things. One, Sam from Ikotun, thank you for calling in. But there are a couple of things. One is you know, we can't always compare ourselves. What might work for us might not necessarily be what might work in another place. Our own programs have to be unique to our own culture and situation.
So would you say this is working? How do you measure the impact? Do you get return of all of this investment that you are making? Because these are monies being spent and people feel that rather than tackle, it's not really tackling the root cause of whatever we are trying to, you know, stem. Rather, it's just the leaves we are addressing.
So, you know, people often talk about the fact that Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world and so on and so forth. When you look at our data, so we currently have about 88 million people that are considered very poor. In 2012, we had 112 million. So we're clearly doing something right if we've gone from 112 to 88, and this is per the MBS figures. Number two, India used to have a higher percentage of, a higher number of people that were very poor. And they were able to reduce that number significantly because of social intervention programs. So we do know that social intervention programs work, and there's no reason why they won't work in our own environment. Number three, when you look at a national homegrown school feeding program, we know that over the years, the science has shown, literature has shown that when you feed a child with a balanced meal, at least a balanced meal in a day, it helps with their retention, it helps with their memory and their performance in exams.
Sam's question comes in on the facility in the school.
Yes.
Would you
True, but recall that primary and secondary education are purviews of the state. And so I think that it's important that we interrogate our state leadership as well to see what they might be doing, what they could be doing better. But from the federal government's perspective, one of the things that we're looking at with the next level is to actually introduce a STEAM curriculum for children in primary and secondary schools. STEAM, because there's arts in it, so it's science, technology, engineering, arts and math.
So, I know that the World Bank released, gave 500 billion credits for this social intervention program. And in 2016, you guys released, the federal government released about 80-something billion. In 2017, about 140 billion. Now, we know that all the funds have not been released, and you know, the project was supposed to span for, the money was given to span for 3 years. All has not been released. Could it be my question is, what is stalling the release of the remaining funds for the program? And is it the reason that most of the programs have not gotten round the states of the Federation?
So you're right that, you know, some of the programs haven't gotten round. In some cases, we need something from the state. So for example, with the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, the states need to hire the cooks. The states need to identify the farmers, get their BVNs, get all of that set up, train the teachers, you know, train the cooks with the menu, because the menu is specific to a locality, because it's based on the food that's farmed in that particular locality. And, you know, so we've worked with IITA as well as the Ministry of Agriculture to come up with what's the best menu for those areas. So once the state comes on board, then we can move in. And that's why we're in 30 states. And the same thing with the conditional cash transfer program. We have to go through that whole survey process first before we can move into the states.
What about the release of the remaining funds?
You know, we believe, I mean, we still have some time. It's 3 years, so we haven't gotten there yet.
Dr. A.B. Awoshika, Senior Technical Assistant, Communications and Community Engagement Office of the Vice President. Thank you so much for enlightening us with what the social intervention programs are and how the government has been handling them so far.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Ladies, It's been a great time. Monday, I believe the show was interesting. That's all we can take. But remember, Valentine's Day is on Thursday, February the 14th. In lieu of this, we would shift our Wednesday live audience show to Thursday. It promises to be an interesting show. One of the major highlights will be a couples game. So if you and your partner are interested in being part of the couples show, please come to the studio between the hour of 12 and 2 from now till Wednesday. We can only take 2 couples. We hope you enjoyed the show today. Have a fabulous day. Bye now.
Four people is 2 couples.